From November 1942 to March 1943, the Nazis forced 116,000 non-Jewish Polish people from their homes. Czesława Kwoka, whose Auschwitz photo is well known, was one of the victims. This was part of what the Germans called General Plan Ost. Here is a map of the area they wanted to clear for ethnic Germans. And this map shows its location in modern-day Poland. They planned to move German people to the area to expand the Reich under orders of Himmler. They would move ethnic Germans already living outside of Germany to areas they had cleared. This region, known as Zamość, is one such massive ethnic cleansing they actually carried out. Planned in 1941, they were partially inspired by the way the settlers in the United States treated their indigenous population. The Nazis had a complicated and frankly nonsensical hierarchy of race. At the bottom were Jews, whom they felt were not worthy of living. Roma and Sinti were near the Jews, but there was never a decree to murder them all, and sometimes they left certain populations of Roma and Sinti alone. Poles were classed as Slavs, whom the Nazis felt were expendable. They planned to Germanize children who fit certain criteria and have them adopted in Germany. This actually did happen, and some children from the Zamość region were taken from their parents for this purpose. Children selected for this program who couldn't pick up German fast enough were sent to the camps to be gassed on arrival. All other Poles would be denied education and exploited as a slave class. They truly didn't care if Poles lived or died, especially if they were not useful to them. The Nazis transformed a former camp for Soviet POWs and interned people from the region there. They represented over 60 villages. They then classified people. Some children were to be Germanized, while others were sent to a concentration camp for children next to the Łódź ghetto. The children's camp, nicknamed Little Auschwitz, was a labor camp. It is incredibly understudied, especially in English sources. Some from the region were sent to Germany, and others were to work on local farms for the arriving Germans. The last group was sent to Auschwitz, or Majdanek, another death camp. Czesława and her mother were part of the latter group. 116,000 people were displaced or murdered, including 30,000 children. Unless a whole family was sent to a concentration camp, children under 14 were torn from their parents to go to the children's camp or be Germanized. A farmer named Leonard Spuga, who was also expelled from his home, said,
"I have seen with my own eyes how the Germans took children away from their mothers. The act of their forcible separation shook me terribly. The Germans beat them with whips until the blood flew in case of slightest opposition, mothers and children alike. One could hear moaning and crying throughout the entire camp on those occasions. I have also seen small children being killed by the Germans."
By March 1943, nearly 300 Polish villages had been forcibly evacuated.